Hi guys, I hope you can hear me. My name's Gabriel. I'm from Birmingham in the UK. And we already have Fabrizia from Milano. How are you doing, Fabrizia? So for anybody who hasn't yet met me, my name is Gabriel. I'm from Birmingham. I am currently at the Ponte Lungo School in Rome. So that's where I'm broadcasting from today. Hey, Alice, how are you doing? I am Sons Emily for this one, Alice and Fabrizia. Usually I have a co-partner in crime, but she will be joining me later today. Hello, Deborah from Milan. How are you doing, Deborah? And how are you, Alice, as well? I'm not bad. The weekend went by a little too quickly for my liking. But I'm very much looking forward to the Easter break, the Easter weekend. And Mauro, you are at the Ponte Lungo School? And Cinzia, hi again. How are you doing? Okay, so great. We have already so many people commenting. That's fantastic. You're going to have to help me out because this is my first solo one. Today, we are looking at family ties. Describing your family dynamics. You're at Bisolati, Maura. Okay. I'm at the Ponte Lungo School, so I probably haven't bumped into you. I've only been to Bisolati a couple of times. So we're going to be looking at family ties, particularly with regards to the names of maybe some more obscure family members. I know we have a little bit different ways of phrasing them in Italian from English. And they can be quite confusing to talk about even in English, I think. So we're going to be looking at family members, descriptions about those family members, and also maybe some revision of some present perfect and time phrases to do with present perfect. I'm grand, thank you, Deborah. Yeah, I'm not too bad. A little bored, but I suspect you are even more so up in Milan. Okay. All right. So let's just start off with checking the names of family members. So if you can comment what the name of the family member is in relation to the question, in relation to the statement that we have here. So Max is the brother of my mother. He is my what? This is going to get very confusing, I feel. Who is Max to me? Yes, exactly. Well done. We have Mauro, Alice. Yes, and you corrected yourself, Mauro. Well done. He is my uncle. And what would it be? Okay, already. Number 2, Jill is my husband's sister. She is my... Alice, you're killing it already. Who is Jill, guys? Perfect. Yep. Spot on, Mauro. That's absolutely spot on. Just a note, sometimes this is such a technicality, but this is often hyphenated as well. I think this is the only one in which we hyphenate to. Fabrizia says brother-in-law. Husband's sister, Fabrizia. So it would be, like the other guys have said, sister-in-law. But I think that may have just been confused in your head a little bit. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, so 3. Brett is the son of my brother. He is my... Hello, Emilio. Okay, so Brett is the son of my brother. Alice said, I guess he is my brother too. That's interesting. No, we have a specific name for this in English. Ah, yes. Okay, fantastic. Mauro has got it here. The son of my brother, we call my nephew. Yes, okay. Okay, yeah, that's spot on as well, Cinzia, well done. Yeah, okay. Alice, this is very complicated, even discussing in your own language. I had this discussion with my flatmates about the Italian ones the other day, and we had to get a whole diagram up on the whiteboard and do a family tree kind of thing. So this is not easy. But well done, guys. Mauro and Cinzia have it. Nephew. If guys, if Brett were a girl, and it was, let's say, Julia, the daughter of my brother. Who is Julia to me? The daughter of my brother. Julia, the daughter of my brother. Who is Julia? Okay, Fabrizia, I think you may be answering. Yeah, okay. Guys, I think you're answering 4. Just before we get to that, who is Julia, the daughter of my brother? So Brett, the son of my brother, is my nephew. Who is Julia, the daughter of my brother? Spot on. Deborah's got it. Okay. The daughter of my brother is Deborah, Cinzia, and Marusia, whatever your real name is, your YouTube name, is my niece. So nephew is the masculine and niece is the feminine. Well done. Okay. Which is different from number 4. Carly is my daughter's daughter. She is my Now, I'm not sure if Fabrizio, Alice, and Mauro were answering number 4, perhaps. I'll give a chance for other people to reply first. Who is Carly? I hope I'm not confusing everybody. I'm really worried about this. When it comes to family trees, it can be very difficult to visualize this stuff in your mind. Okay. Spot on. Matt, Musa, and Cinzia. Perfect. Granddaughter. My daughter's daughter is a granddaughter. I would be the grandfather, and my daughter's daughter is the granddaughter. That's no worries, Alice. We'll power on through. Okay. Now, number 5. Yes, that's right, Monica. Well done. Granddaughter. So granddaughter, Alice, is the who is related, who would be your daughter's daughter. Grandmother would be my mother's mother or my father's mother. Okay. I think I'm starting to confuse myself here a little bit. Okay. So 5. Henry is the son of my mother and her second husband. He is my. So my mother has a second marriage to somebody who isn't my father. And they have a child who is a male. Who is that child to me? Okay, interesting. We have a couple of responses here. We have stepbrother and we have half brother. So stepbrother is 1 of 5 and 6, and half brother is 1 of 5 and 6. Number 5 is actually half brother, as Cinzia has given us, because this son, Henry, has half the genetic composition that I do. He is still the son of my mother, but he's the son of my mother and a different man. So he is half related to me. So we call him a half brother in this instance. Half brother, somebody who is half brother or half sister, somebody who shares one of your parents' DNA. Who shares. Okay, I'm just trying to write comprehensible versions of this on somebody who shares a biological parent with you. I hope that's clear. Tell me if it's not, guys. I need your feedback on this. Number 6. Hannah is the daughter of my father's new wife. She is my. So Hannah is not biologically related to my father. but my father has married a new woman in this case. Exactly, spot on. Alice, Mauro, Fabrizia, Emilio. Fantastic, good. Okay, that one is stepsister, because my stepsister is not biologically related to me, but is related to me through my parents' marriage. Not biologically related to me, but related to me through my parents. One. Okay, I hope that's. But I think you seem to have got the right one there. Everybody seems to have come in with the correct answer there. Okay, good. So I'm glad you haven't all left for now. Okay, right. Moving on. We have now some phrasal verbs here to look at. Phrasal verbs to do with family dynamics and how one family member might be related to another, particularly with regards to the parent and child relationship. So on the right, we have two categories: upbringing and inherit. Can anybody tell me what upbringing means? What is an upbringing? Can you give me a synonym maybe for upbringing? What does this word, this term mean? This one being a noun as well. And this one being a verb. Okay, so we have a couple of comments. Alice and Fabrizia have said education, educating. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Alice said experience as well. And from Marussia, parenting. So, okay. So it's kind of related to what you're saying, all three of you, in a way. An upbringing really is your care and instruction when you are not an adult. So you could talk about your upbringing as in you talk about your childhood in a way, how you were taken care of by your parents, in relation to your schooling, how you were kind of instructed as a child, and your education in general. So a synonym for upbringing might be childhood. It's as simple as that, I think, in this case. So think childhood, but watch out. This is a noun, guys. This is the noun form of this phrasal verb. Okay, so with these phrasal verbs on the left, can we fit the phrasal verbs into the categories? So upbringing or inherit. Where does to bring up come? Is to bring up related to upbringing or inheritance in some way? Yeah, exactly. Logically, it makes sense, as Alice and Cinzia have said, is related to upbringing. To bring up somebody, to care for them, to nurture them as a child. Well done, Cinzia and Alice. What about to take after? What does to take after mean? And which category does to take after fit? Is it about upbringing or is it about inheriting? Is about inheriting. Spot on. Well done, guys. Excellent. What does to take after mean? Can anybody give me an answer to Anne Fabrizia? Well done. What does to take after mean? And to take after, I might add, is transitive. It takes a direct object, which is somebody. So for instance, you could say, I take after my father. What does it mean to take after your father? Maybe that's a clue in some way. Okay, excellent. Cinzia suggested resemble. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I think to resemble, and Fabrizia has given us the suggestion of to seem as well. So to take after is a little bit different from to take care of. Deborah, a little bit different. I know the preposition here completely changes the meaning of the verb. And we have a suggestion here from Alice saying she takes after her grandma. She seems like, she looks like, but not only on her physical appearances. Yes, excellent, superb. That's spot on. So if you take after somebody, it means, like the suggestions we've had, Cinzia, Fabrizia, Alice said, you could resemble physically. So you could have a physical trait or a physical attribute that one of your parents does. So I could say, my father has dark hair and muscular shoulders or something. And you could say, I take after him physically, meaning I have muscular shoulders and dark hair, that kind of thing. But also, like Alice is kind of saying as well, not only in physical appearances, you could take after somebody's characteristics. So you could say, my mother is exceptionally musically talented and I take after her, that kind of thing. So it means you share the same either physical or personal characteristics as somebody. And take after always has a direct object, which is a person. Okay, great. What about to raise? Pay attention here. To raise is active, is an active voice, but we often see to be raised, which is in the passive voice. Which one does to raise fit under? Upbringing, fantastic. Upbringing, exactly. To raise is very similar, almost synonymous with to bring up. I bring up my daughter. I raise my daughter. It means you care for, you nurture, you instruct somebody. Yeah, and to be raised is passive. So you could say, I was raised by my mother. My mother raised me alone. Exactly, spot on, guys. Well done. To run in the family. What about this one? This one is intransitive. Is it upbringing or inherit? Inherit. Super, Alice and Cinzia. To run in the family is definitely inherit. What does it mean if something runs in the family? Can you tell me? Or what could you say runs in the family? What might we say runs in the family? For these, I don't know, guys, if there are, I'm not so experienced with this kind of stuff and whether there are Italian equivalents. So for some, there may be Italian ways of phrasing these ones. I don't know. Let me know if there are. To run in the family. I'm just wondering if that one might have some kind of translation available. Alicia said it could be a talent that passed through generations. Lovely. Exactly. So you could say, you could say in a similar manner, musical talent runs in the family. It's a talent that's passed on. Or you could also say a physical attribute as well. You could say kind of height runs in the family, that kind of thing. Great. To look after, which one? Upbringing or inherit? Okay, you say qualcosa di famiglia. Okay. Yeah, a family talent or a family thing. We could say that as well. Yeah. Thank you, Alicia. Cinzia says gardening. The ability to garden runs in my family, or a gardening ability runs in my family. That's excellent. Yeah. Pay attention for your third person is all. Gardening ability runs in my family. Just watch out because it's third person, so we'd need the S there. But fantastic, yeah, that's a really good example. Gardening abilities runs in my family. To look after, fantastic, from Alicia and Fabrizia. To look after, upbringing, to care for. I think that one is comprehensible. What about to get something from? What about this one? So we'd say to get something from, and then a person, a family member in some way. What do we think? Inherit. Spot on, guys. Well done. To get something from, again, similar. We could say, I get my gardening ability from my mother, or something like that. You could say that, Cinzia, for example. Okay, all right. So we have the phrasal verbs on the left, and we've discussed a little bit about the meaning. I wonder if you could give me an example, for instance, of to bring up. Can you build a sentence using the word bring up? Maybe you could talk about where, when, or who. I want a sentence using the word bring up. for example, I'm going to do an example as well, so we get a whole range of ideas. I was young, so my elder brother brought me up. Older brother brought me up. Okay, excellent. Alice said, my mum brings up me all alone. Okay, fantastic. Just a note, we would put the direct object here, which is me, before the up, Alice. So in this example, we would say, my mum, as it's in the past, Alice, I think, we'd probably want past simple. But I go. Let's stick with the present, for instance, if it's still happening. Brings me up all on her own, we would say. If it's a single parent, we would say on her own. Yes, but you corrected yourself. Brings me up, exactly. What about an example of bring up, guys? Fabrizia, Cinzia, Mauro and Deborah. I don't know if you're still with us. An example with brings me up. Who brought you up, or where were you brought up? You could answer a range of questions using this phrasal verb. For instance, why not? My dad was away when I was young, so my mother and elder brother brought me up, for instance. Okay, I'm going to wait. Maybe people are still writing things because there's a little bit of a delay. But in case it's not clear what is meant here, I'm going to try and maybe we can look at an example. So, for instance, in this sentence, in this little passage here, Alice was raised in a small town outside of Chicago. Her mother raised her and her 4 siblings to be independent, caring, and helpful. When she was younger, she often looked after her younger siblings. For years, her mother has tried to raise them to be religious too, since she was brought up in a very religious household. As teenagers, Alice and her siblings have rebelled against their religious upbringing. So we're going to skip these questions. How were you brought up? Maybe it's a little bit clearer from the text here what is meant by brought up. For years, Alice's mum has tried to raise them to be religious too, since she was brought up in a very religious household. How were you brought up, guys? I want a sentence with brought up or bring up. It could be about who brought you up, or it could be about what ideals you were brought up with. How were you brought up? Fantastic, Fabrizia. Exactly. I was raised in Milan by my mum and by a babysitter. Excellent. Yes, and that's fantastic. You've used the passive voice with raise. Super. I was raised by my mum and by a babysitter. For a babysitter, I don't know if that's an inherited word in Italian as well. Tell me if it is, I'm not sure. A babysitter is like a child carer, somebody who cares for you potentially when your parents are away. Fabrizia, question to you and to Alice, Cinzia, any other students who are still with us. How were you brought up? Were you brought up in a, as we have here, a religious household? Were you brought up, were your parents strict? Were your parents artistic? How was your upbringing is another way of saying how were you brought up. My own upbringing is not too dissimilar from the bottom of this example. My family is from a quite strict Irish, well, my mum's family is from a quite strict Irish Catholic family. So I was brought up in a quite religious household, but have rebelled a little bit against the religious upbringing. Here we go. And Fabrizio said, I was brought up in modern education and freedom. Yeah, I was brought up, you could say, I was brought up free through modern education. But yeah, that's great. I was brought up in modern education, freedom, good. Alice said, I was raised in a small town. My parents brought up me. Yeah, just watch out again. Alice brought me up. I know it's tricky, but we've got to have that direct object in between brought and up there. It's just a little peculiarity. My parents brought me up, and my sister brought up me and my sister. Okay, no. Completely wrong. You've done it correctly, Alice. Now I've read the entire sentence. I understand what you're saying. That's perfect. My parents brought up me and my sister in a very open-minded environment. Thanks to this, childhood imagination and creativity definitely run in the family. Superb, excellent. My parents... I tell you what it is. I think what I would say is my parents brought me and my sister up. I would put up after both direct objects. My parents brought me and my sister up in a very open-minded environment. I see exactly what you've done there, though, and it's a very slight difference. I was raised in a small town. My parents brought me and my sister up. Just put the preposition after the direct objects again. No worries about the lack of punctuation. That's not a problem. I'm from Cinzia. My parents brought me up in a strict way. In a strict way. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. We would just probably say, if you're using the adverb, we don't need way in this case, Cinzia. We could say, my parents brought me up strictly. Or we could say, my parents brought me up in a strict manner or in a strict way. So either the adjective plus way or manner, or just the adverb, my parents brought me up strictly. But that's superb, yeah. Really good example. And Mauro, my parents brought me up with severe rules. Excellent. Really good. It's similar to Cinzia's statement. My parents brought me up in a strict manner. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. I've got to go in a couple of minutes. How about one sentence with who do you take after? Just very quickly, guys. One sentence with who do you take after? And why? So remember that we said take after has a direct object, which is a person in your family. And it means to inherit a physical attribute or a characteristic, a character trait. Who do you take after in your family? I take after my dad in that I am very stubborn, I could say. I'm very stubborn, and I take after my father in that way. Alice, I took after my great-grandmother, my dark colors, dark hair, and dark eyes, because everyone in my family has good, excellent. Everyone is singular, so we just say everyone in my family has clear eyes. That's why my sister always told me that I'm not her real sister. Okay. Okay. Oh, I see. So everybody has clear eyes, and you have dark eyes, but you've taken that from your grandmother, your great-grandmother, who clearly looks different as well. Fantastic. Really good example of take after. Well done. I took after my father. Just a final note. Yeah, that's perfectly valid for Vizia. We would probably take after stays in the present simple tense. We don't need to put the phrasal verb take after in the past, because you are still alive. You still take after, in a way, that person. So I take after my father because I'm still stubborn. I wouldn't say I took after my father. We don't really need it in the past tense so much. Any more examples just before I go? That's fantastic though, guys. Really, really good. These are some quite tricky phrasal verbs, I think. Okay, all right. If you're still writing, I will still get the examples afterwards, so don't stop. But I have to nip off now, guys. Really good stuff, good examples, and I hope I didn't confuse you on the family relations, guys. Okay. Have a really nice evening. Have a nice dinner, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.